Admiral Cole stood before the vast council chamber, a space teeming with an electric tension that crackled in the air. The Galactic Council, a constellation of alien dignitaries, loomed before him, their features bathed in the harsh glow of the overhead lights. A holographic projection of Earth pulsed ominously at the center, its vibrant blues and greens contrasting starkly with the sterile metals surrounding them. "You will comply, or face annihilation," the speaker intoned, his voice a sonorous echo that seemed to vibrate through the very walls. Xylox, a towering figure with shimmering scales and piercing eyes, regarded Cole with barely concealed contempt. The weight of their ultimatum hung heavily in the room, suffocating the hope that clung to the edges of Cole's resolve. Cole's jaw tightened, his thoughts racing. The council had demanded tribute, a price far beyond material wealth. It was a declaration of subjugation. "We are not your vassals," he replied, his voice steady but laced with an urgency that resonated with his fellow humans seated behind him. Commander Rhea, his loyal second-in-command, leaned closer, her brow furrowed in concern. "We can't let them dictate our fate, Admiral. The longer we hesitate, the more power we give them." Cole nodded, feeling the weight of leadership settle like armor on his shoulders. He could see the unease flickering in the eyes of Earth's representatives, scientists, diplomats, and military officials, all waiting for his command. "We must rally the populace," he declared, determination hardening his voice. "If we show them we are united, we can resist their demands." As murmurs of agreement swept through the chamber, Xylox sneered, his expression a blend of amusement and disdain. "Your defiance is amusing, human. But know this, the Council does not make idle threats. You will comply, or face the consequences." With a swift motion, he gestured, and the hologram shifted, revealing a fleet of warships poised in orbit around Earth. The sight of their colossal forms sent a shiver through the assembly, a stark reminder of the power they faced. "We'll turn this around," Rhea whispered fiercely, her eyes alight with a mix of courage and defiance. "We just need a plan." She had always been a strategist, quick to analyze situations and formulate tactics. Cole appreciated her unwavering spirit. It was a balm against the despair that threatened to engulf them. "We'll show them that humanity cannot be broken," Cole said, glancing back at the council with renewed resolve. "Prepare a rally. We'll gather our leaders and let the world know we stand together." As the meeting adjourned, Cole felt a surge of hope amidst the fear. Earth might be outnumbered, but they were not without strength. The whispers of defiance grew louder in his mind, urging him forward. He turned to Rhea, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly. "This isn't just about us anymore. It's about every person on our planet." "Agreed," she replied, her voice steady. "We'll remind them that unity is our greatest weapon." As they exited the chamber, the cold metal walls closed in around them, a stark contrast to the warmth of the camaraderie brewing outside. Cole's thoughts turned with strategies, each one a thread in the tapestry of resistance they were about to weave. The enormity of their task loomed ahead, but deep within, he felt a fire ignite. The Council had underestimated humanity's spirit, and that would be their downfall. Earth would not cower, it would rise. With each step, Cole embraced the gathering storm, ready to lead his people into a fight for their freedom. Outside, the chatter of the rally began to swell, the energy palpable. The tide was turning, and as Cole looked into the determined faces around him, he knew they would not go down without a fight. The battle for Earth had only just begun. The air buzzed with anticipation as Admiral Cole stood at the podium, a sea of faces before him reflecting both fear and determination. The makeshift rallying ground was an old hangar on Earth's capital, its metal walls adorned with banners proclaiming unity and resistance. The scent of engine grease mixed with the tang of adrenaline, electrifying the atmosphere. "People of Earth!" Cole's voice boomed, reverberating off the hangar's steel beams. "Today, we stand not just as individuals, but as a unified force against the Galactic Council. They demand our submission, but we will not bow." His words ignited a fervor in the crowd, cheers erupting like fireworks, drowning out the ever-present threat looming overhead. Commander Rhea stood to the side, her expression a mix of pride and resolve. She watched the crowd, keenly aware of the fragile hope they clung to. Behind her, engineers and strategists huddled over holographic displays, working tirelessly to devise plans for a counteroffensive. Rhea's heart swelled as she saw faces transformed by Cole's impassioned words. This was the moment they had needed, a rallying cry to awaken humanity's fighting spirit. As the applause faded, Cole gestured for silence, his demeanor shifting to one of solemnity. "The Council believes they can intimidate us into compliance," he continued, "but they do not understand what it means to be human. We fight not just for ourselves, but for our children, for our future." He paused, locking eyes with individuals in the crowd, drawing them into his conviction. Among the throng stood Elena, a young scientist with a determined glint in her eye. She had worked on developing new technologies for Earth's defense, yet had never imagined herself as part of a movement like this. "I need to help," she whispered to herself, the urgency of the moment pulling her into action. She moved forward, pushing through the crowd, her heart pounding with newfound purpose. "Cole!" Rhea called, stepping closer to him as the cheers subsided. "We need to ensure the message of unity reaches every corner of Earth. We can't just inspire, we must organize." Her voice was steady, but beneath it lay the weight of their daunting task. "Absolutely," Cole agreed, wiping sweat from his brow. "We need teams mobilizing across cities, a coordinated effort to fortify our defenses and gather resources. Rhea, I want you to lead the outreach. Make sure every voice is heard." Rhea nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "I'll set up communication channels. We can use the network of underground resistance groups to spread the word. They can be our eyes and ears." Just then, a commotion rippled through the crowd. A figure burst forward, panting and wild-eyed. "Admiral! We've just intercepted a message from the Council's fleet. They're on the move!" The words hung heavily in the air, a palpable shift in the atmosphere. Cole's heart sank, adrenaline surging through him. "How close are they?" "Less than an hour from Earth orbit." The messenger's voice trembled, panic threatening to overwhelm him. A collective gasp swept through the crowd, fear flickering like shadows across their faces. Cole raised his hands, attempting to steady the rising tide of anxiety. "Everyone, listen! We are prepared for this. Our defenses are ready, but we need to remain calm. We will not allow them to instill fear in us. This is our moment to show them what humanity is made of." Rhea stepped forward, her tone unwavering. "We need to fortify the hangar and prepare the fleet for immediate launch. Everyone, you know your roles. We are not just waiting for them, we will meet them head-on." Her words rippled through the crowd, transforming their fear into determination. Elena felt her heart race as she realized the significance of the moment. "We can't just defend. We need to counterattack," she called out, her voice firm. "If we hit them hard enough, we can disrupt their command. I can lead a team to deploy our new tech." Cole's eyes brightened at her initiative. "That's the spirit! Rhea, coordinate with Elena. Make sure her team has everything they need." The energy in the hangar shifted, a newfound resolve sparking among the crowd. They were not merely waiting for a battle, they were preparing for a fight. The moment of truth was approaching, and each person present could feel the weight of history hanging in the balance. As the rally erupted into a flurry of movement, Cole felt a surge of hope. Humanity would not yield, they would fight with everything they had. The Council's arrogance would be their downfall. Today marked the beginning of a struggle that would define them, and he would lead them into the storm. The clash with the Galactic Council was imminent, and Earth would rise to meet it. The rumble of distant engines reverberated through the command center, a constant reminder of the approaching threat. Commander Rhea stood before a massive holographic display, her brow furrowed as she studied the swirling patterns of enemy ships closing in on Earth. The blue and red icons flickered ominously, a digital battleground foreshadowing the chaos to come. "Admiral, we have less than 30 minutes before they reach our orbit," Rhea reported, her voice steady but edged with urgency. "Our defenses are ready, but we need to strategize. If we wait too long, we risk losing our advantage." Admiral Cole leaned closer, his fingers tapping rhythmically on the console. We can't simply react, we need to take the initiative. If we show them our strength right away, it might just shake their confidence. Elena, how ready is your tech team? Elena stood beside Rhea, her eyes sparkling with a mix of fear and excitement. We've finalized the EMP devices and upgraded our missile systems. They're ready for launch. But we need to deploy them smartly, target their command ships first. Disrupting their coordination could turn the tide in our favor. Then that's our plan, Cole said, a fierce glint in his eyes. Rhea, you'll lead the initial defense. Hold their front line. Elena, you'll coordinate the EMP deployment. Make sure your team is prepped for quick adjustments. We'll need agility today. The air felt thick with anticipation as Rhea nodded, determination setting her jaw. Understood. We'll keep the pressure on them. As they moved toward their respective stations, the tension in the room heightened. The once bustling command center transformed into a focused hive of activity, technicians darting to and fro, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow of screens. Rhea could feel the weight of their gazes, each person invested in the outcome of the impending battle. She steeled herself, the responsibility pressing heavily on her shoulders. Rhea! A technician shouted, her voice breaking through the chaos. We're picking up a transmission from the Council. They're demanding our surrender, claiming we're outmatched and will face annihilation if we resist. Transmit our response, we won't yield, Rhea replied, her voice unwavering. Let them hear the spirit of humanity. We're not a people to be intimidated. As the technician relayed the message, Elena adjusted her headset, her heart racing. We need to time our strikes perfectly. If we can disrupt their communications, they won't be able to coordinate their attack. She glanced at Cole, her resolve firm. I need every moment I can get to ensure our systems are fully operational. Do whatever it takes, Cole replied. We're counting on you. Moments later, the first wave of alien ships broke through the atmosphere, dark shapes blotting out the sun. Rhea's breath caught in her throat as the sight sent a chill down her spine. The Council's warships loomed, majestic yet terrifying, a reminder of their might. She stood firm, knowing that fear could not take root today. Everyone, prepare for battle, she commanded, her voice rising above the clamor. We fight for our families, our future. Hold the line! The crew responded with a chorus of affirmations, their determination solidifying in the face of impending doom. Rhea could feel adrenaline coursing through her veins as she took her position at the front lines. The ship's defenses bristled with energy, shields pulsating in anticipation. Target locked on their command ship, Elena announced, her fingers dancing over the controls. Ready to deploy EMPs on my mark. Rhea nodded, heart pounding. We're with you, Elena. Fire when you're ready. As the Council's ships descended, the moment arrived. 3, 2, 1, fire! Elena shouted, her voice ringing with authority. The EMPs surged forward, bright streaks cutting through the atmosphere, striking their target with a resounding explosion. The command ship's lights flickered, and chaos erupted in its wake. Direct hit! The technician called out. They're losing control. Now's our chance! Rhea shouted, rallying the crew. Push forward! Engage them while they're disoriented! The ship trembled as they surged into the fray, weapons firing in rapid succession. Rhea felt a surge of exhilaration as they penetrated the enemy ranks, her resolve sharpening with each enemy ship that erupted into flames. But in the back of her mind, a sense of dread lingered. This was only the beginning. Suddenly, the comms crackled, and a familiar voice came through, strained yet commanding. Rhea, we have a breach! They've deployed boarding parties. Rhea's stomach dropped. Where? Hangar Bay 3. We need to hold them off before they reach the command center. Understood. Move to engage. Rhea ordered, adrenaline surging through her. We'll not only defend our home, but we'll show them what it means to underestimate humanity. As the crew moved to confront the incoming threat, Rhea felt the weight of history bearing down on them. This was their stand, their moment to prove that Earth would not fall without a fight. With each step into the unknown, she resolved to lead her team with courage. They would not only hold their ground, they would reclaim their destiny. And with that thought igniting her spirit, Rhea steeled herself for the fight of their lives. The battle for humanity had begun, and they would fight to the last breath. The air crackled with tension as the last remnants of humanity's defense swirled around Commander Rhea. Alarms blared incessantly, their shrill cries echoing in the chaos of the command center, now a battleground. She gripped the edge of the console, her heart racing as she processed the overwhelming situation. "Rhea, we're outnumbered!" Elena's voice cut through the din, panic creeping into her tone as she monitored the feed from their sensors. "They're breaching our hangar at multiple points. Hold your ground. We need to contain them until reinforcements arrive," Rhea shouted, forcing herself to maintain her composure even as fear threatened to overwhelm her. As they prepared for the incoming onslaught, a deep, rumbling explosion shook the ship, sending vibrations through the metal floors. The lights flickered, and a wave of debris cascaded from the ceiling. Rhea steadied herself against the console, her resolve hardening. This wasn't just about survival, it was a fight for their future. "Get to your stations," she barked. "We have to hold the line." With grim determination, the crew rushed to their posts. Rhea caught a glimpse of Admiral Cole, his face a mask of steely resolve as he rallied the remaining soldiers. "We've trained for this," he bellowed, his voice steady amidst the turmoil. "They may have the numbers, but we have the heart. Let them come!" Rhea felt a rush of adrenaline surge through her. The enemy, a formidable council fleet, was not just an abstract threat anymore. They were here, invading her home. She had watched her comrades fall during the previous waves, each loss carving deeper into her spirit. But she would not let their sacrifices be in vain. Suddenly, the door to the command center exploded inward, sending a shower of sparks and metal flying. Alien soldiers, grotesque in their appearance, surged through the gap, their armored forms glinting in the harsh lights. Rhea's heart raced as she grabbed her weapon, bracing for the inevitable clash. "Fire!" Cole roared, and the room erupted in chaos. Lasers cut through the air, illuminating the grim faces of her comrades as they fought back with everything they had. Rhea joined the fray, her pulse hammering in her ears, each shot fired a desperate plea for survival. As the battle raged, Rhea's focus sharpened. She dodged a bolt of energy, feeling the heat singe the air beside her. "Elena!" she shouted, her voice piercing the noise. "Where's our backup?" "Still engaging the Council forces outside. They're struggling to break through," Elena replied, her fingers flying over her controls as she dispatched another EMP blast. The discharge illuminated the battlefield, temporarily blinding the enemy and granting the crew a fleeting advantage. "Push forward! We have to secure the command center!" Rhea yelled, rallying the troops. They surged as one, a wave of humanity determined to reclaim their space. Rhea fought with every ounce of strength, each movement fluid and precise, but deep inside, doubt gnawed at her. Would they truly hold? Would they make it through? As the alien soldiers fell back momentarily, Rhea glanced at Elena, whose face was strained but resolute. "Elena, we need to secure the control room. If we can disable their communications, we can turn the tide." "Right. I'll cover you," Elena shouted, her voice steady despite the chaos. Rhea nodded, adrenaline fueling her as she broke through the crowd. The corridor leading to the control room was littered with debris and the fallen, both human and alien. Each step felt heavy with the weight of their sacrifices, but she pressed on, refusing to let fear dictate her actions. Inside the control room, the lights flickered ominously, casting shadows that danced along the walls. Rhea took a deep breath, scanning the area for threats. "Elena, we need to get the systems online and disrupt their targeting capabilities." "On it," Elena replied, her fingers moving like lightning across the console. "But I need more time." Just as Elena began to hack into the enemy systems, the door burst open, and a group of alien soldiers charged in, their weapons drawn. Rhea's heart sank, but she was ready. "Hold the line!" she screamed, firing at the advancing aliens. The room erupted into chaos again. Rhea felt the heat of their weaponry sear the air as she fought back, adrenaline sharpening her senses. "Elena, how's it coming?" she shouted, dodging a barrage of incoming fire. "Almost there. Just a few more seconds," Elena panted, her face glistening with sweat. "I need cover." Rhea gritted her teeth, pushing her body to its limits. She fired with precision, each shot carefully aimed, her resolve solidifying as she felt the stakes rising. With every passing moment, the weight of their fate bore down on her. Finally, the screen flickered, and a loud beep echoed through the room. "I've got it!" Elena yelled, her eyes wide with triumph. "Disrupting their communications now!" In an instant, the holographic displays around them flickered, showing chaotic scenes of confusion within the alien ranks. The enemy ships, previously coordinated, now struggled to regroup as their systems faltered. "Now's our chance!" Rhea cried, invigorated by the sudden shift. "We push them back!" With renewed vigor, Rhea and her crew surged forward, their weapons blazing. They fought with desperation, each alien soldier they felt a step closer to reclaiming their home. But as the battle wore on, Rhea couldn't shake the feeling that this was merely the beginning. The Council would not back down easily. As they fought, a resounding explosion shook the command center once more. The lights dimmed, and alarms blared even louder. "What now?" Rhea shouted, frustration mingling with fear. "More reinforcements!" Elena gasped, her eyes wide as she pointed to the viewport. "They're sending in their elite forces!" Rhea's heart sank. The stakes had never been higher. "We're not finished yet," she growled, turning to her comrades. "This is our moment! We stand together or we fall alone. Let them come!" With a fierce resolve, Rhea prepared for the fight of their lives, knowing that they were humanity's last stand against a galaxy that sought to snuff out their flame. They would rise to the challenge, fueled by hope, unity, and the indomitable spirit of those who refused to surrender.